Solar Shine. As always, hopefully you guys can hear me. For those of you that are just tuning in, it's Thursday, right? I think it is. It sure is. Yep, Thursday,
Yeah,
21st.
buddy. Woof.
We got a special guest here for those of you who don't know. Okay. Every Thursday we'll be going live. Like I said, I apologize for last week. I think I went live on Friday or something like that. But hey, it's the holidays. New baby was here. All the days are mixed up. So today we're definitely going to keep that momentum going. We'll be on again next Thursday. So for those of you who don't know, it's Edgar with All One Solar Shine. We service the Santa Clara County and the Sacramento County out here in California. Solar panel cleaning, bird proofing, gutter cleaning, window cleaning. And we got someone else here that you're also looking at. Nonetheless, Birdman. Birdman, where are you
Yeah,
from?
buddy.
What do you do? And how long you been in the game?
Yeah, buddy. What's up, Edgar? Thanks for having me. Well, Solar Clean, we've been in the game for this is our 8th year. We're finishing up our 8th year. We do the solar panel cleaning, the pigeon eviction, moved into material manufacturing and distribution. Edgar, the big help, Northern California up there selling that Solar Clean flat tracks, the Spanish pre-cut. Woo, those
Yep,
nice
yep.
deep S's. So Solar Clean's the brand, Birdman's the name, and we service pretty much all of Southern California. We're based out of the Antelope Valley, which is the high desert of Los Angeles, right below Victorville. So we service Victorville, going down into the Fontana, Fontucky area. We sort of stop at the 10 freeway. We've got a lot of friends and folks that we refer business to out that way. And then all the way over towards the Conejo Valley, Simi Valley, Moore Park, Fillmore area. Pretty big area that we do service.
Yeah.
But then we have a lot of affiliates too. So it's like when we get busy, we always help people out and send out those leads if we're not able to handle them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like what you said too, as far as like, when you get busy, you send it all out to someone else who can help. Because I don't know if you saw, but my last video that was just 2 days ago on YouTube, and it was just about that, talking about working together, talking about, if it's a project is too big, or if you don't have the right equipment, or if you're just too, you have too much on your plate right now.
Yeah.
It's all comes down to providing a high quality service for your clients. And sometimes, when you have too much on your plate, you can't go and do a half quality job. So if that
Yeah.
means sending it out to someone else to take care of that client, hey, you got to do what you got to do. um,
Amen.
as you were talking, dude, growing up, I had no idea LA was everything that you said, right? For me,
Yeah,
LA
buddy.
is all that. So it's like where you live is LA. Okay.
All right.
But you broke it down to what you do and where you're at. So for those of you who don't know, Todd Birdman, we call him the Birdman because of that's just who he is, right? His experience, his expertise. Like he also said, he manufactures and distributes the bird mesh. So quickly, Todd, what made you do that? Like when was it? Was it what year was it when you started to say, hey, I'm tired of buying all this crap. Let me start doing my own thing. Was it year one, year two, year five?
Yeah, it's crazy because that goes all the way back to like I wouldn't say day one because, I was buying my material from Bird Be Gone. What's it, Spiffy Solar? They're still around out of Colorado. But when you're looking, just like you had said earlier before we got on here, like the year end process, when you start to form a company, you're like, we came into existence out of need. We needed to survive. We needed to pay bills, and I saw an opportunity, and we took advantage of that. So as I started progressing, and I met people like you. Like the first person I met was Shauna and Adam with Premier Solar Panel Cleaning out of Menifee, right? Way back in the day, and so as we were talking, just kind of like this, but not all sophisticated on YouTube and all these platforms, right? We were chiseling out our action plans on stone, right? And Adam and Shauna, they were like, "Hey, I'm going to have 5 trucks, and this is the direction I'm going to go." And the volume was kind of leading them in that direction. And up here in the high deserts, it's totally back in 8 years ago. It was a totally new concept. And I looked at, man, if there's an area that I would really want to control, that would be my inventory, be able to have good material in stock, ready to go, so that way when the customer says, "Hey, yeah, let's do it. When can you do it?" Back then we were like, "Well, I could do it today," but when you're starting, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources. So as I started writing business plans, or at least jotting down some of the things that I wanted to achieve, manufacturing a quality product material, controlling the cost, but more importantly, having material at hand. So when the customer said, "Let's rock and roll," let's do it. Right. So that was part of writing out the business plan on where I wanted to see the company. And I said, "Hey, even though it seemed like a pipe dream, I want to be able to have my own product, my own material." And all I knew back then was Bird Be Gone. So
Right.
imagine going to like a big box store and saying, "Hey man, I do about 10 installations per year. Do you guys do private labeling? How do I get my name on your brand?" It wasn't even an option. So
Right.
starting our own brand and going from scratch, that's where it started. I'd probably say year two, started thinking about it, and then started having money to save to send back and forth to materials and shipping and customs.
Yep. Yep.
um it was, so it was about second or third year when we really started to uh get it refined.
Nice, nice. Dude, I applaud you, man. Congrats on that. And for those of you who are just tuning in, like Birdman said, him and I have teamed up. Okay, if you don't know, I'm in the Northern California area. Both of us are in California. So for those of you that are watching, I know I get a lot of people that tune in, whether it's nationwide or even worldwide. Unfortunately, right now, both of us are in California. But hey, I'm sure Birdman will ship to you wherever you're located. So will
Yep.
I. But the reason why him and I teamed up is because we want to bring his material local to everyone, within Southern California or Northern California. That way you can always get your hands on this material and, to the best of our ability, either bring down the shipping cost because you're so close to us, we can just meet you and give it to you, or the shipping will just be a little less because, like I said, you're that closer to us. Um,
Yeah.
so Birdman, quickly. So you've been in this for 8 years, and
Yep.
you're not just a solar panel cleaner. You're not just a solar panel manufacturer. For not solar panel, sorry, bird mesh manufacturer. You're a business owner. You've been through the ups and downs. You and
Hmm.
I, we've had a lot of phone calls, private phone calls where we get a lot of people who call us asking questions. We
Yep.
get a lot of people, whether they're
Yep.
just starting or they're gonna start. um, you, from that business owner standpoint, I mean, is being a business owner for everyone?
No, it's not. And I believe me, I did 25 years in corporate America. I was a first vice president. I ran some large scale call centers, some big companies. But I wasn't educated into that. I wasn't sort of born into that. That was something I literally started folding envelopes back in like 1990, right?
1950.
90, yeah, 1950. I was there when the post office opened their doors, right? So, you know, being where I live, you commuted everywhere, 60, 70 miles. The high desert was an affordable place to have a home and start a family and all that, but you always commuted. And so you always think, everybody thinks, "Ah, man, I don't want to work for the man, I want to be my own boss and all that." But guess what, man? I was, pretty egotistical too, if you don't know, but I was a really good manager and defined manager. I managed people and processes. And so we'd get together and guess what? "Hey man, all right, I want you to work on this scorecard. This is what I'm kind of thinking. I want you to go analyze this data, bring in this data from these different sheets. Let's see what our average talk times are, and let's like design a bonus program and submit it to senior management. I want you to go do this. Hey, on the new hire training, I want the topics to be here. I want you to expand it with screenshots." So I always had people, really good executors, to go out and execute my vision, right? And then every week, "Hey, how are we coming along with that?" And then chew some backs. "What do you mean you didn't get to the data? Why didn't you analyze it? Why didn't you put the stuff together?" So when you manage people and processes and you have people going and doing the work for you, and now you're an entrepreneur. Guess what? Like say for today, say it's December. Who is going to go do what to get you those inspections, those cleanings, those evictions, those spike jobs? Who's going to, who's going to do it? It's you. So it's very tempting because of the age we're in. Like right now we're on YouTube and people are like, yeah, I want to be my own boss.
Yeah.
Guess what? I've got I've got 4 adult kids. It's Christmas time. If I didn't have a great wife that was like, "Yo, this is how much money I need back in October," and the season rolls into December, and you didn't forecast that, and you didn't do your business modeling and all of that stuff, man. The short story is being a business owner and a so-called entrepreneur. It's not for everybody, and although you may have a couple of $1,000 or some room on some credit card to go and buy these nice skids and all of this stuff that are out there that are very enticing, do your homework, man. Do your homework. And me and Edgar were talking about this the other day, and I literally saw this little interview with Ice Cube. That's one of the guys I would like to meet, man. Oh, Ice Cube, baby. He basically said, you know what, like where you might, in different words, I wrote it down, right? But
Yeah, I don't think he
where you
spoke like
want to
that.
be. Yeah, he didn't sound like me, all like discombobulated. But basically, he said, "Hey, man, where you want to be, others have been. They've come and gone. Like
Right.
network, and let those people help you get to where you think you might want to go, and understand what it's going to take. And do you got that gut? You know what I mean? So." Don't ever ask me an open-ended question because it could go on for about 40 minutes.
Oh, I know. I was ready to cut you off, but no, but that's good though, because I want people to see, and to hear the raw truth about all this. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there's so many platforms, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever the case may be, that paint such a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Oh, make $1,000 today in 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
everyone is drawn to money, and I get it. We live in a world, in a society where, yeah, we need the money. We have so many bills. We have a lot on our plates. Like you said, you have 4 adult kids, and so there is a lot of need out there with everyone. So we tend to be that get rich quick scheme, or we tend
Yeah.
to move towards that. How can I make more money? And we just don't understand that. Hey, just being a business owner doesn't mean you get all the money in the world. There's a lot more
Yep.
to it when it comes to managing the money, when it comes to how do you get the money, when it comes to
Right.
the workflow, the employees, the insurances, the license, a lot of things that
Yep.
go into this. And
Yeah.
people don't see that big picture.
Yeah.
So
The, the one
go
thing
ahead.
I do have to say, because I don't want to sound, I'm pretty egotistical. I'm a Leo. I'm fat headed, right? My head fits in the whole screen, right? But I'm nobody special. At the end of the day, right? Like I said, like we talked about this when we first met. I started this out of the necessity to feed my family.
Right.
And so I get it. I'm nobody special. I wasn't blessed with a certain gift just because I was a high ranking manager of a call center, right? I put in 25 years. You know what I mean? So the bumps and the bruises in that industry that I thought I would be in forever, I had to start all over. So I'm nothing special, but what I am is I'm resourceful, right?
Yeah.
And so like we were talking like early on, I was like, who's in this game, right? I remember doing a little pop-up in this I won't even mention the company because the guy was so disrespectful, but he had a nice company under the cover. Nobody ever really knew that people serviced and did these pigeon things with solar companies. But when I was working for Tesla, he had the contract with this territory, right? And so he did nothing organically to find his customers. He got in with they used to call him the warehouse manager, right? And hooked him up and probably gave him a couple bucks on the side, and he got all of those calls, and he got into that company, and he rode that wave. Well, now there's so many folks that are doing the game. I'm hoping that he's doing okay, just because I wouldn't want to wish, like, even though he was a what to me, but he did nothing to start to raise it organically, and the
Right.
grind and that entrepreneurship and all of that stuff that has to come along with it. Man, it could be quite the right. So long story again, like there's nothing special with me or Edgar. I do call him special because he's like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but I think Edgar did ride the short bus to school. That's how we met. No, just kidding. So don't take it as we're anybody that's walking on water. Like, you know what I mean? But there's a
No, of course
lot
not.
to there's a lot to doing what we do. It- I told Edgar a while back, I said, sometimes I think we make this stuff look too damn easy because a lot of people get into it. So on the other hand, they get into it. They're cocky, they're arrogant, they get up there and they do crap work. At the end of the year, Edgar's working still. I'm working. I could go down a list of folks that that Edgar's introduced me to that are in the surrounding areas that I would follow, and I didn't really know them, but I know them now. They're still working, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, that's definitely true, man. I appreciate all that. Um, it comes down to just grinding, working hard. It comes down to, I like what you said as well, like being a business owner doesn't mean you have to be a special person. It may take a special kind of character, it may take a special kind of
Right.
attitude, it may take a special kind of determination and commitment, but all these things you can definitely learn. All these things you can definitely grow into. If you don't have them, it may take some time, but hey, as long as you got the right mindset and the skill we can all learn to bird proof. We can all learn
Right.
to clean solar panels, right? And that's something also that I wanted to bring up too in this later in this conversation. But the mindset, the commitment, the dedication, those are things that you just kind of can't learn. You just have to grow into. You got to want it, right?
Yep. Yep.
There's a quote that I really like, and it's something that I've always had in my head since the day I read it. These aren't the word for word from this quote, but it's basically, don't fear. How did it go? Actually, I had it in my head right now. Oh, don't fear. No, my biggest fear in life is not knowing where I've been. My biggest fear in life is being in the same place a year from now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like knowing that, like, hey, in 2020, December 2024, am I going to be in the exact same place? If I am, something's wrong, right?
Yep.
If I didn't grow, if I didn't progress, if things didn't change for the better in December 2024, then that's my biggest worry. That's my biggest fear, right? Because I got kids as well. I got three girls, so the business is, as has to keep growing. I got to keep growing. Same with you, and same for everyone else. So it's like we have to always think that way, in the sense of, where are we going to be in a year? And if that picture is a lot better than now, then we keep moving forward. So again, for those of you that are just tuning in, we got Birdman here from Palmdale, Edgar with All One Solar Shine.
And that's one of my expenses right now, interrupting the live, right? Her college is on the phone. Like, where is my payment? It is the 20th, 21st. Huh? Yes, it is. The 21st. She's on break, and they talking about where's my installment. You want your daughter to come back from break, boy? You better break out that credit card.
Yep, that's the way it
Sorry about that.
goes. That's
That's
the way it
life.
goes, man.
Unexpected expenses, man. You know what I mean?
Right? And they're not cheap.
Whew. Well, you could go to the junior college, right? And but I told she's the princess. She's the oldest, and she's very driven. She's going to get her BSN, and she wanted to go to Liberty University, and that's mine and the Devonator, my son's job, to make sure that we do what we need to do. So she exits with her bachelor's in science and nursing, and has no debt.
Nice,
So
nice, nice. That's the way
yeah,
to do it, man. Applaud you.
amen,
Congrats. So let's talk real quick about 2023. How'd you do? Did you hit your goals?
man. When Edgar asked me, "Hey man, you want to come on and let's talk about year end?" I'm like, "Well, I guess I better update my year end spreadsheets." that's
Just real
that's a
vague, just how was it
yeah,
overall? Did you hit your goals? And was
yeah.
there anything that you could have done to be better?
Absolutely, right. So first thing, you got to write those goals down. It's kind of an oxymoron, right? Everybody says write down your goals because without writing them down, you can't execute them. You need to visit them frequently. But guess what? You're going to get busy. You're going to get distracted. In probably for the good. I
Yeah.
remember Edgar was like, "Dude, I need like 25 rolls," and then 2 weeks later, he's like, "I need 50 rolls." It's like, dang, man. So in a nutshell, like I write everything down in Excel, like project management style. And I would say, yeah. So here's the moving target, right? So I always have like goals, whether it be income or whether it be adding a truck or adding a certain program or topic, right? But on the income front, we have cleaning, we've got the pigeon evictions, and then we've got the materials, and so those are all individual line items, and you have to go back. The moving target comes 8 years ago, year over year, I was increasing, man, 50 to 60 to 70%, right?
Nice.
Because nobody was in that spot. And when you go from $0 to $20, that's a 2000% improvement, right? So
Yep.
now you're in a market, just what you were saying earlier. The technology is there. A lot of people coming into the space. They may or may not have that social media presence, the Google ads, the Facebook marketplace. But there, as others enter into the areas that we've seen, we've still been able to meet our goals, our overall goals per buck. I haven't finalized my 12-month look, right? But some of the months where I thought I'm gonna kill it, man, I'm gonna do, say for example, June last year and the previous years, and I track everything, and we could probably go over that another time, right? Just in general on so that way you have a target. Um, June was kind of like it's an okay month. It's coming out of the springtime. You know, people are starting to get their vacation wheels on. But June blew away the last 3 Junes, right?
Nice.
But guess what happened? So when we were setting goals, my January, my February, my March, toilet. And then I forecast that out. And why were they toilet? And the thing that you have to remember, even if it's putting it on the calendar, rain day, rain day. Edgar's like, man, if it barely blows, Todd's not getting on the roof, man. I'm old, fo. I ain't trying to let stuff fall off. A little breeze will blow my old ass off that roof, man. But
Yep. Yep.
you have to write it down, so then that way when you're sitting back and you're reflecting at this point and you're like, whether you did or you didn't hit your numbers, why not? You don't want to wait till the end of the year. You want to look at it at least a monthly and a quarterly, and then have a little line item so you could explain yourself. I always look at it like this. I had some great mentors in the mortgage industry. If they were to ever look at my books, they'd slap the crap out of me, like on what I track, because if you're not writing it down, you're not setting the expectation, you're not tracking it, and you don't have reason and rhyme. Do you think most people are going to remember what happened last February?
Right.
Hell no. They're barely going to remember what happened last week, because now you're stressed out. The holidays here, your college kids asking for your debit card to make their payment. The wife, you just got a notification your bank account went under $200. Right? The wife's been gone since 8 o'clock. I'm like, where the hell did you go? Right? But so you you can adjust. We used to call them those Monday morning quarterbacks. They should have did this. They should have threw it instead of ran. But we look at it monthly. We talk about it monthly, quarterly, because we could readjust. So
Yeah.
if last year I was sitting the first quarter and I'm like, damn, just hypothetically, not that it was, I'm at $100,000. Man, that's really going to hit my marks for the rest of the year, because year over year, month over month, I've been increasing by what percentage? And if we're doing everything that we've done in the past plus more, we should be able to get more, right? But
Right.
weather and all that comes in, and guess what? More people come into the industry, and they're out there hungry, they're banging doors, they may have cheaper prices, cheaper quality, but they may be doing some things that we get comfortable in, and like, man, I don't have to bang doors, dude, because I've got money for Google, or I've got money for whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, you got to have that all written out, so that way you don't have heart attacks. So even though the year I haven't went through and updated everything, um, as far as numbers, cleanings, they were meeting and exceeding. Uh, Cleanings for us is like I don't want to say an afterthought, but we do more pigeon. We're like 90% pigeon evictions, 10% cleaning.
Nice.
But we realized that, and we said, just what we talked about before, retention. If we do somebody's pigeon eviction, why are they not on a 6 month or an annual?
Right.
Right? Well, so those are opportunities. So the cleanings, we were meeting our goals going into the end of the year, and then the pigeon evictions. Thank God, the work was still there. January, February, March were horrible with the weathers. It literally almost slowed down to nothing from October, November, December, January. I've got it all written down. Horrible months last year of weather, but then your April, your May, your June, all of those jobs, we were able to do what we wanted to do. So we were able to catch up
Right.
and kind of hit where we're expecting. And the good thing with jotting it all down too is if anybody like ever wants to figure out that may not have been in a call center environment or managed books before, it's very simple to forecast. So then that way, if I'm trying to hit say 400,000 in total revenue and I'm going into October, far am I away from it based on an average monthly cycle of what I've been doing this year, but using the percentages from the last year. So you go into an October, November, December, you should have math that's very different. So that way you're not just like, oh dude, I did 50 grand last month, but yeah, now you're in December, right? So
Right.
how do you forecast that? So then that way, I'm going to end okay, or dude, I need to stop being lazy and get out of the house. I'm at the house right now today because of weather. It's raining out there, but
Right. It's sprinkling.
yeah, I think it might sprinkle at some point today. Well, I'm not going to chance it. I don't want my beard to get wet, but hitting the goals. The long story are we're doing good on the cleans. We did really good on the evictions. The area that I have to give hats off to was Edgar. Not only with the folks that he has in his little circle, but Edgar picking up that relationship and having him. This guy, I'm not offloading 50 rolls of material to Edgar, and he's not giving me my cut when he sells them. He came out of pocket because he knows I need to have that material ready on hand so that way when the customer says go, I go. But he also understands that what he said earlier, helping out with the shipping costs, helping others be able to maximize their profits by getting material locally and quicker, right? Like Edgar really stepped up. So Edgar made it easy for me to meet my distribution goals. So thank you for that. Hope you got the Christmas card.
Yeah.
Right? I'll give you a
I
free
got the
roll of
Christmas.
material.
I just wasn't sure if it was you because I just saw a pigeon on it.
It was full of pigeon crap.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
the long story is we did well for the year, but now that you said, hey, let's get on this call and I open up, I see a lot of opportunity where we got busy and I didn't go back to work on some of the things I could have and should have worked on to make it even a better year.
Got it. Got it. Cool.
Crazy.
No, but that's what happens, man. Sometimes, like you said, we get good distracted, right? Where we get distracted, where we're just so busy. Where the little things, like for example, right now, dude, this week has been really tough for us in the sense of it's been raining. So this week has been a lot of follow-ups, a lot of emails, a lot
Yeah.
of phone calls, a lot of things that we can do, but that we don't do in June, July, August because we're just so busy, right?
Yeah.
So it's that good distraction that comes, and as long as you get that balance, as long as you always have that momentum, and as long as you have that mentality of just like, hey, keep pushing forward and forecasting, because I really like what you said in yesterday's post. If you stop for 30 days, or if you stop for 2 weeks or a week,
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like for example this week, if we just took a break or whatever for whatever reason, or for Christmas, whatever, it may not hurt us this week, but it'll probably
Yep.
hurt us in 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, right? Because this
Amen.
week's break, we get the consequence later on. And to roll out of 2023, I know a lot of people are watching now, right? So I appreciate all of you watching, appreciate the comments. We got some comments. We got one from Alexander. Just quickly, can you see comments, Birdman, on your side or no?
Yeah, it just popped up right now. That's why I was trying to look down.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we got
Yeah,
a comment
but
from I got a comment from Alexander. Appreciate you watching, man. If you haven't already jumped into the solar panel cleaning industry, I mean, hey, there's still plenty of time. It's only going to get
as long
bigger
as
and
you're not
better.
in Southern California, you're in Southern California, get the hell out. No, just kidding. We're here to
And
help.
and Rangel, what's up, brother? I appreciate you always watching, man. You're always watching, and appreciate the support and the motivation. So quickly now to roll out of 2023, right? We're jumping into 2024, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
piggyback off the post from yesterday. What do you have in store? What can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek trailer edition to 2024? How can Birdman bless not just the lives of Edgar, but also the lives of many across the nation?
You know what? It's just that, Edgar, not to be on the Edgar bandwagon, but he's got you got to surround yourself with people. Like when we first met, I'm sure he bit his tongue on half the stuff that I would say because he was like that new date. He laughed at all the jokes. He was always high fiving, and then he started giving me
We got that
feedback,
bromance
and then
going.
yeah, then he started coming back with, "What did you think about this? Did you think about that?" Like, damn, this is like a second wife that I didn't ask for, man. Shoot, but surrounding yourself with the right people, right? Because there's
100%, man.
expectations, and watching him do like all of what he does, and jumping out at people, and at Target, but then next thing he's on the roof and he's got gutters, and he's got such a wide base. He did bring a lot of motivation into our camp over here, and so a lot of the things like Edgar said earlier, we get called, or I get called a lot, and I've never not like had a conversation with somebody, help them understand. First thing I ask is what area you service. Oh, you're up in Gilroy? Yeah, I could help you out. No problem. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
But I want to know where are they at, and a lot of people. There's people like Edgar, like me, and there's a lot of guys that have good sense or good tenure and want to help out, right? So Edgar and I have been thinking, like, look, man, there's always a time and a place for everything. He was telling me about some folks that he had conversation with, and it was a lot of mining. A lot of people mine, and a lot of people, what they want to do is create like a solarpanelcleaning.com, and they want to get contractors like us on the hook to do it at a discounted price, so that way they could spend their money on Google and bring it in and all that stuff. But you know Edgar and I have been talking, and we're like, look, man, I do hate to say this. There is a right way and there is a wrong way to do things. And I don't blast people on what they do, how they cut, how they tuck, and all of that stuff. Um, I'll share it with Edgar and some of my other buddies in the industry, right? But in 2024, I think there's a real opportunity for a lot of guys go out there, and if you're out there and you have this on your page, I'm not smashing against you, but the computer based training, right? Anybody in the industry like me, when I see a little logo that says I'm certified by XYZ and you did a computer based training, hey, never stop learning. Always go and get that knowledge. But Edgar and I have been talking, and whether it's Birdman University or it's solar panel cleaning, pigeon eviction 101, the newbies, don't be a Chuck, whatever the title is going to be, is we're collectively been individually thinking what curriculum we could bring to the table, in-house training, CBT based training, roof training. So then that way people are doing it and doing it right. And that goes, whether it be Birdman University, whether that be all one and then some, who knows what it'll be called, but there's a lot of opportunity for coaching, mentoring, holding people accountable. Like I have a little thing that I'm working on in our line, right? And when I talked to Edgar about it, man, he went on for like, I was like, damn, it's like I shouldn't even have told him, because he's like making me think of he made me think through it. So even me, 8 years in the game, I don't know everything. I need coaching. I need mentoring. I need a kick in the butt. So whether there be a Birdman University that's going to walk folks through how to do what to do, the certification process outside of CBT training, like Edgar and I will probably be working on that too. And you know what? If you get certified by me or somebody like Edgar, I'm not going to just bring you in, charge you a fee, and give you some corny little thing to put on your page. I'm gonna come check your installs, right? Because there's plenty of people that have come up, got trained with me or Devin, got up on the roof, and they do quality work. But I think now more than ever, there's a need for the folks that have the skill and the will to give that to those folks that are trying to get in, and make it to where we're approachable. So there's mentorship, there's training, roof training. Like, we've got the Spanish tile mesh, right? But not every district or builder is the same. So when you're in Northern California, wouldn't it be great to know how to cut it so it's clean and precise and you could actually warranty that stuff instead of clipping it and folding it in? So a lot of exciting things with training, mentoring, hands-on types of things to come. But a lot of that is going to be pulling folks together like me and Edgar to pull these things together and actually do it. So that's the long
Absolutely.
version.
It's a long version, but hey, that was good. That was some golden nuggets right there for those of you that are just watching, or for those of you that are watching now or are going to be watching later on. Make sure you stay tuned. All right, 2023 was a solid year for both Birdman and I. I know we were both blessed, and I know also that 2024 is only going to be even that much better, not just for us, but for everyone. Okay, I'm all about helping others. I'm all about working together. I know Birdman is as well, but we just want to make sure that those that we work with are going to be committed as well, right? That we all have the same mentality, that we
Amen.
all want to grow with each other. Um, I think Birdman and I, the reason why we also just talk so much, we get along very well, just because we definitely hold each other accountable with a lot of things. Okay, we definitely help each other out. We make sure that we're both doing things right. We're making sure that we're both motivated. I mean, we're all human beings, and there's days when you maybe just wake up and you're having a bad day, you're having a bad week, or
Yeah.
just something's going wrong. Whether whatever the case may be, and so you need that motivation, okay? You need that support system, and that's why I've always stated in a lot of videos, making sure you have that lifeline, making sure you have that support buddy in your back pocket, because you never know what's gonna happen, and having that one, two, and maybe even three, four, five. I mean, the more the
Yeah.
merrier. As long as everyone has the same mentality, you guys can grow. Quickly, we got Angel on here from Oahu. We're coming after Oahu, Angel. You be you be
Let's
ready.
go.
I was sharing some pics yesterday. I felt like I was in Hawaii with those panels that I was cleaning, man. If
That was a
if
bad
those,
one. I told him, I said, "Where you at, Hawaii, dude?"
I
That
know,
was
seriously,
horrible.
man, panels were black, covered in mildew. It was bad, but hey,
That's
they came out
awesome.
nice and clean. So if I knocked that
Amen.
one out the park and Angel approved it, I'm Hawaii ready.
Amen.
Um, we also got Alexander. So again, wish you the best, man. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. We got, who is this, Junior? Oh, Rangel again. Shout out to the GOAT, Mr. Birdman. And then
Yeah, buddy.
Rangel brought up a good point too. We'll probably close at this because we definitely want to take up too much time. But Birdman, so with Rangel's question is knowing how to read the inverter or troubleshooting. Do you see
Yep.
that ever becoming like a service of yours, or maybe not a service, but maybe like an upsell, or like something that can help you in the industry of having all that knowledge with the inverter, troubleshooting it, reading it?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna say I'm gonna stay in my lane. But I absolutely do believe like the smarter you are. I was luckily I went through the pain of working for Solar City, but I'd go to my installs and I'd
Is that
ask
where you lost your
questions,
hair?
and that dude, it was good. That was the mortgage industry, dude. Man, but yet having that knowledge is absolutely key. And I just connect myself like with good people. So I've got, crazy as it sounds, my buddy James, his company is Solar Clean Services. When I saw that first show up, I said, "Fool, we about to do this. Where you from, homeboy? We about to go to the streets. Solar Clean, man. Like I should have trademarked that damn thing or rights reserved it. But I do think for me, I stay in my lane, and I've got people like James, and then what's his name, Jesse, right down in Fontana. That dude, he's like, yo, man, you ever need? I think he's an electrician, right? He's done those installs. He knows what's up. So I'd rather like defer it and pass that over, but I do see it as a revenue stream because so many companies have went out of business. And imagine rolling up, we get people that are like, "Hey man, I got a $5,000 bill with Edison. I'm hoping your cleaning is going to take care of that." And
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to have your system checked, your inverter, and all of the other stuff that comes along with it. So, for me, I stay in my lane. I'm the bird man. We flush it, wrap it, bling it, spike it, and we're out, right? And then I kick that business down to others. But I do see an op. I see an opportunity for it, but I also see 95% of the people that I sold to when I would walk them through setting up their app to watch their production never logged in again.
Right,
So
right.
they don't know, and I've got some friends out in Australia out there, right, and they're killing it. They've got these heat guns and all of that stuff. I remember when you posted, you were like, "Don't get electrocuted, man." I'm like, this fool got a volt meter on the panel and stuff like that. Like, dang, dude. For me, I'm like, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I don't want to freak the customer out, but there is an opportunity to in solar to go much bigger than just washing it and getting rid of pigeons. It's the maintenance, it's the repair. That's a big. We had so many people with flooded issues. They had to get rid of, pull the panels off and put them back on. We had honestly probably like seven customers reach out to us because the companies were gone, and now their payment is just going to a certain fund or whatever. But they were like, who could take those panels off so we could fix the roof and then put them back on? So I do think it's an opportunity. It's
Yeah.
just for me, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm getting
Nice,
old, man.
nice.
I'm trying to thin down
Nice. So that's
the
a question that
jobs.
we'll have to get Devonator on this and ask him these questions. See where he's going to take solar clean in the next 5 years.
That's right. I told him, "Hey, man, get on, let's go," and he was like, "Nah, man, you handle that." That's funny.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, everyone. Well, like I said, and like I've stated before, appreciate you watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed, Birdman and I talking over here. As always, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you have any questions, just, drop them in any other videos as well. Birdman and I are here to help you. What I've stated and I'll probably close at this is the reason why I bought from Birdman the first time was, one, because I was looking for quality mesh, right? So I mean, I'll be honest, I went to Bird Be Gone, I went to BirdX, I went to some other places on Amazon. I tried a lot of meshes, at the beginning, and I found Birdman's mesh, and I said, you know what, his price is a little higher than what I found before, what I've used before. So why is that, right? But I'm not going to know until I actually try it out. Now, I tried it out. I like the mesh. I like the quality. That's the reason why as well. I'm also distributing it up here in Northern California. But the reason why I've stayed and where I think loyalty comes into play is because of who Birdman is, right? I mean, how many times, Birdman, did I call you nonstop 5, 6, 7 times
Right.
because I had an issue, right? And I didn't know how to fix this. I didn't know what to do. But yet you picked up, right? I think I called you
Amen.
more times than your wife did that day. So
Yeah, she's like, "Who's this Edgar chick you've been talking to?" I was like, "Hell, for the first 3 months, I called him Steve." He's such a nice guy. He didn't even correct that I was calling him the wrong name.
So
Yeah.
so you get that support system, okay, when you buy from Birdman,
Amen.
when you buy from Edgar. So we're here to help you out. We're here to make sure that you grow and that you do things right, especially with the quality mesh that that we're providing. So as always, appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful Christmas. Stay safe. Wherever you're at, if it's raining, snowing, and you're traveling, drive safe. Obviously, don't drink and drive ever. Just spend time with the family.
Amen.
And just take care of your loved ones.
Amen. Merry Christmas, all.
All right, everyone, have a good one. Peace.
See ya.